On May 18th, 2011, at 8:30 in the morning, the phone rang. I answered it. It was a police detective wanting to meet with me. At first, he wouldn't say why, but as I asked, did I do something wrong? Is there something I should know? He finally said, it's in regards to your son, Mark. I'll be over soon. And he hung up. My first thought was, what has Mark done now? Mark just turned 21, and he's my child who needs that little extra grace. So I called Mark just to see what was going on, but the phone went directly to his message. So I sat down and thought about the situation. Why did the police call? If Mark was hurt or in an accident, they would have told me where he was going or what hospital he was at. If Mark was arrested, Mark would be calling, not the police. The only other option I could think of I didn't really like. That's when I asked for help. I put my hands together, I bowed my head, and I prayed. Father, my son is dead. He immediately answered in my head saying, my son died too. I know exactly how you feel. And he continued and said, by the way, he's not your son. This confused me, and as I was trying to wrap my head around it, he answered, he's my son. I gave him to you. The only thing I could think to answer was, thank you, Father, for the time you gave me with Mark. This conversation prepared me for what was to come. When the detectives arrived, they told me Mark had taken his life. From that very moment, God wrapped his loving arms around me and guided me through my grief journey. He gave me the words to speak at Mark's memorial service. He guided me to become a volunteer police chaplain so I could be with other parents in those very first moments. He guided me into becoming a suicide awareness and prevention advocate to help educate others. And finally, he directed me to start a ministry for parents who have lost a child. God is with me. God is with you too. He loves you unconditionally. He says the same thing of you that he said of Mark. You are his son. You are his daughter. Have you acknowledged him as your father? That's where it all begins.